This is a free download from the BBC. For more information, go to bbc.co.uk/podcasts.
Hi guys, welcome to the podcast. It's a fun podcast. It's the best of Iain Lee on BBC Counties of the Three Radio Podcast. It's the best bits from the week, guys.
That was nice.
That's the song I've written, and the yeah. So welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you could download it. It means a lot to me. For every time every podcast that gets downloaded, my soul lightens a little bit.
Aww.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
I love you guys. Kelly.
Thanks.
Kathleen.
Mm-hmm.
And I love you guys listening to this if you're on a bus, if you're maybe school lunch break, maybe you're in a really boring meeting and you're pretending you're taking dictation.
You better nod a bit more.
Nodding. You should nod. What's wrong?
Dictation.
Hey, can I use your dictaphone?
No, use the mobile like anyone else.
Use your finger. Oh, isn't that joke evolved? Yeah.
She's modernised it.
So that's my favourite joke. Let's do it old school. Catherine, can I use your dictaphone?
No, you can use your finger like anyone else.
Love it.
You pervert.
It's such a good joke.
Massive perv.
And I used to find it funny before I even got it. That's how good a joke it is. Do people still use dictaphones?
I got one for Christmas once and they did that joke on me.
Anyway, guys,
I enjoyed it.
Welcome to the best of podcasts. Look, this is bounce that was too good to be broadcast, and we're just doing it now. That's how good we are, guys. High five. Catherine?
Yep.
Okay. She left me hanging there.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
On this week's podcast, we really do have a lot of fun. I started by asking, what's your favourite motorway? So what is your favourite motorway? Let's go around the room before we listen to the pre-recorded audio from the show. Kathleen, what's your favourite motorway?
M6.
Kelly Betts, what's your favourite motorway?
M1 is the one I use the most, so I'm going to go with that fella.
And mine is the M40. It's got Boozer on it.
Are we all linked together?
Hmm?
Are my favourite motorways all linked together?
Well, yeah, by other road.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're friends.
Okay.
Even in the motorway world.
Shut up.
Thanks.
Let's have a listen to what happened during Monday's crazy show. Here it is. Hope you enjoy it. It's Dave talking about the A1. Enjoy. As it starts now. Here it comes.
Good morning, Prince.
Yeah, it's good. Oh, good morning, Joey Coco.
Yes, and you.
And you.
A1M.
Yes, not a motorway.
It starts and ends at Potter's Bar and starts and ends at Biggleswade.
Well, how can it start... Hang on a minute. Dave,
yeah?
You've just said something ridiculous.
Yeah?
How can it start and end in one place and then start and end in another place? It starts in one place and it ends in another place.
No, excuse me. If you're coming down from north, you get on it at Biggleswade.
Right.
And you come off it at Potter's Bar. That's the end.
That's the start.
No. So if you're coming from London,
yes,
you get on at Potter's Bar.
That's the start.
And you get off at Biggleswade.
Yeah. So that's the Potter's Bar is the start, and Biggleswade is the end.
Yeah. If you're going from London, if you're coming from north, it's the other way round, isn't it?
Exactly. Biggleswade is the end, and Potter's Bar is the start.
No, if you're coming down from north, it starts at Biggleswade and ends at Potter's Bar.
Yeah, no, but...
Where's your logic?
Okay, all right, listen. All right, where's your logic, Dave? Imagine you got a snakes and ladders board, right?
Oh, here we go.
You got a snakes and ladders board, right?
Yeah.
And what is it, 100 squares on there?
No, hold on. No, the snakes and ladders, you can start only one place.
Yeah, the start, but supposing you started at the end, would that be the start?
No.
Exactly. Exactly, that would be the end. You're starting at the... You've got a book, Dave. You've got a book.
Oh,
you may not have heard of
dear.
those. They're a bit...
Yeah.
Let's say you've got a Harry Potter book because you like reading children's literature, right?
No, I don't. No,
You've got the end of the book, right? You're at the last page where it says Annie dies, the end,
Oh,
right?
my God, yeah.
Are you starting at the start of the book or the end of the book?
No, listen.
Yeah, that's the end of the book, isn't it, Dave?
No,
so,
listen.
the A1 starts at Potter's Bar and ends at the other place you just mentioned.
Look, listen, Hypo Prince.
What?
It's Hypo Prince.
Are you talking about Joey Coco?
You.
Yes.
If you're coming down from the north,
Yes.
well, you hit the motorway A1.
For goodness sakes.
Right, that's the start of it.
No,
For
it's
people
not.
coming
The
up.
start of it is Potter's Bar.
No, it's not. What are you
what?
beefing
So
on about?
where did they start building it?
Where?
Yeah.
Well, the A1M's been going for years.
Well, yeah, but it must have started. They must have built it at some point. Weren't there forever?
North. They started it up the north first.
Right. Well, then that's the start. And Potter's Bar's the end.
Dear, for all I come on to say about the A1M.
Yeah, I
by
know.
the
You're
way-
talking out your backside.
By the way, Dennis of Dunsford's going to be very happy now, isn't he, soon?
Why is that? Why?
When BBC Three goes from Luton to Dunstable,
Yeah, I
he'll be
know.
able to pop in and
A
see ya.
BBC Three going there as well. It's going to be a bit of a squeeze if BBC Three and BBC Three Counties Radio are there at the same time.
Well, BBC Three Counties Radio is going to be there, isn't it? You
Yeah,
know,
well, is
so
BBC Three going to be there as well?
Well, it didn't say that in the paper.
Well, what? Hang on a minute. So who's going to be there?
Three Counties Radio.
Exactly. And is BBC Three going to be there as well?
No.
Then what? Oh, for goodness. Catherine, who let him through?
Me.
Why?
I like Dave.
This week, the big news story, of course, was Rolf Harris being convicted of various horrible and nefarious offences against young girls and women of various different ages. Now, I didn't particularly want to talk about it, but I felt that we had to talk about it because it was such a big story. But I didn't want to do kind of a lazy, cliched, hey, let's send him to prison, let's bring back hanging, let's castrate and phone him. So I sort of put it out to you as to what you wanted to talk about. Well, Matt called in, and Matt made rather an interesting point.
He's suffered enough. He's been humiliated. He's too old. He can't go to prison. It's done. Let's get on with life. He's all over the papers this morning, and you know that. How he must feel. He is suffering now. And he will suffer for the rest of his life. So he doesn't really need to go to prison.
What about the women and the children that he sexually abused?
Okay, it's done. It's happened. He's now been humiliated for the last, I think, year or so.
The 84-year-old, this is from the front page of The Guardian.
Yes.
The 84-year-old was found guilty of 12 assaults spanning almost 2 decades from the late 60s. The 4 victims, and you've got daughters, Matt, so listen to this.
Yes.
The 4 victims included a girl of 8 whom he touched after signing an autograph, and his daughter's best friend, groomed and molested from the age of 13.
Yes. I know, Ian. I know.
He dragged them through the courts, right, knowing what he'd done, and yet he wasn't big enough to put up his hands and say, I've been caught, do you know what? I'll cut this misery short, I'll confess. He couldn't. He didn't even have the decency to do that. And you're saying because he's been on the front pages of a few... he wasn't on the front pages of the papers for a long time because, do you know why? He had a lot of money and he paid lawyers to take out an injunction, meaning he couldn't be named. I knew he'd been arrested 5 months before it came out in the papers because, well, there were rumours all over the internet. But he kept it quiet.
So you're actually condemning him. You reckon they should put him away and chuck the key away, yeah?
No, I'm not saying that
they should... That's what you're saying, yeah?
I'm not, Matt. Let me tell you what I'm saying. I'm saying they should give him an appropriate sentence. Not saying they should lock away the key, but yes.
What is an appropriate sentence?
I don't know. I'll leave it up to the judge. I don't know. Yeah. I'll leave it up to the judge. But I'm saying a man who molested an 8-year-old and a 13-year-old should go to prison, even if it happened a long time ago, even if he's 84 years old, even if he's a millionaire, even if he's a celebrity. Do you really think he's suffered? He's been embarrassed and shamed a bit.
You've only got to look at the guy, it's just torn apart. I think these papers, everything gets out of hand, Ian. It goes, and you can honestly sit there and say to me, I'll sentence him to 10 years.
I don't know. Whatever the I have to go by.
You're saying, Ian, you're not committing yourself. You're not saying he should go away and they should sling the key away. You're not.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the sentence. I will respect the sentence that the judge gives, because I don't know the rule. I don't know the laws on sentencing, and I will respect the sentence the judge gives.
Well, I think it's gone too far along. It's too long ago. He's suffered enough. He must be suffering mentally.
Good.
And,
some people might say good.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, he molested an 8 and a 13-year-old girl.
I know.
You've got daughters,
Matt.
man.
I'm harping back. Yeah, I know that. I know. Bloody hell. I've got daughters of my own. I know what it would be like. It must have been terrible.
So you think he should just go home now and live out the rest of his life in luxury?
He's a marked man for the rest of his life now, anyway. You know, and he'll suffer now for the rest of his life anyway. Whether they put him away or not, you know, that's down to the courts. But what sentence would you give him? A year? 2 years? So even if he goes away, Ian, they've got to protect him and just leave it be. Just close it. Close it.
And do you think that finally, Matt, because we're running a bit late,
yes,
do you think that will bring closure for the women that he abused, the children who are now grown women that he abused and molested?
He's come out in the open, and he's found guilty, and that should be enough.
After Matt, we spoke to Chris, who kind of agreed with Matt and said that, well, these things happened a long time ago, and, you know, should we be punished for crimes we did a long time ago?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to comment not particularly on Rolf's mental condition, health condition, etc., but he's a vastly different person than he was in the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, as all of us are. I'm only in my 30s, so I'm very different. But if I was being held accountable for things I did half my life ago, let's say when I was 18, so at a time when I could have been prosecuted, I could have been put in prison, not particularly me, perhaps other people at my school, other schools, people who vandalised things, people who, you know, went nicking purses at the weekend, you know, maybe over 6 months amounted 20 or 30 offences they were never caught for. Let's say that was provable now. These people in their 30s, should they be held accountable for what they did when they were 18, when they were very different people who are now business owners and employers, people who maybe run charities now, give their lives to the improvement of others, yet they're being held accountable for something, which, if they were caught at the time, they would be put in prison, they would be fined, particularly vandalism and violent behaviour. You know, they're very different people now.
So what's your question, Chris?
My question would be, is this man the same man he was then? Okay. You know, we've already said he's probably not a threat to society now, but he's not been a threat to society since he got to that point and said, what I'm doing is wrong. I'm going to stop this.
But there are several things here. I don't know if we don't know if he's ever reached that point where he said, what I'm doing is wrong, I'm going to stop this. We don't know if he even acknowledges that what he did was wrong. He was denying it all the way through the court case. And I take your point, but I would suggest there is a difference between teenagers nicking purses and nicking a few CDs and a man in his 30s, his 40s and his 50s abusing an 8-year-old and grooming a 13-year-old.
True. And there's a line that he crossed, and quite how far over that line he went in those different cases may be different. We've had so many celebrities in the press lately. You know, this man did this guy.
Yeah, but this man, Rolf Harris, definitely did this. It's been proven in a court of law. He abused 2 children and other women. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
So are you questioning whether he should be punished because it happened 30, 40, 50 years ago?
I'm not saying he shouldn't be punished. It would have been ideal if he could have been caught at the time,
would have been
punished
great
at the time,
yeah,
and dealt with at that point. He was that man then,
yeah,
and he deserved to be punished for that. He's not the same man. What benefit? Who's being benefited by putting him in prison?
Okay. Let me go through the list of who's being benefited. Society, moral decency, justice, and the women that have been abused.
Absolutely, and we do live in a society where we prefer to punish than cure. We prefer to...
No, do both. Do both. Put him in prison and give him therapy.
Okay, so what's it achieving by putting him in prison? We've got absolutely, the therapy is absolutely essential.
Yeah.
You know, anyone who needs help, even if it comes out of Ralph's wallet to pay for these therapists, which perhaps would be a great thing to do. But what's the benefit of putting him away? What's the benefit of...
Okay, benefit number one...
Justice.
Benefit number one, justice. Okay, which is a very important thing in this country. Benefit number two, I don't know the last time he abused a child. I don't know. Stops him doing it again.
True.
So those are two quite good, big benefits. Benefit number three is it sends a serious message to other child abusers and other people who commit sexual crimes that there is a stronger chance you will get caught, that money and fame is no barrier to punishment, and that this stuff is not acceptable. So those are three really big reasons.
It clearly has been a barrier, because it's taken so long for each of these, Jimmy Savile, and the other names that come out recently. It's clearly been a barrier. The way to get that message out would be to, this man molested this child 3 days ago. They're going to prison tomorrow.
Yeah, but Chris, I'm guessing you have never been, or you don't know people who have been abused, or at least have told you they've been abused, because you can't. The abuser works using intimidation, shame, and fear. So if a 7-year-old, if a 13-year-old is inappropriately touched or is advanced on sexually, they are so fearful, they are so ashamed, they are so intimidated that they can't go, "Hey, Mum, do you know what? That really famous fella off the telly touched my bum, and I didn't like it, and it made me feel bad, and it made me feel dirty." They can't do that. They can't do that. That power has been stolen from them by the abuser. And that's why it often takes years and years and years for the victim to be in a strong enough position to come forward and say, "Do you know what? I'm going to claim back my childhood. I'm going to take back what was stolen from me." It takes a long, long time to be in a position to do that.
Well, that's something that society needs to change. We need to make that not a taboo. We need to do everything we can, and there have been moves.
Well, then if we send these people to prison, that's one less barrier. That's one more indication that children will be taken seriously. It still won't. You still, it's impossible for us to understand what goes on in a 12-year-old's head, a 13-year-old's head, when they are abused by an older man that they perceive as being powerful. And however welcome and opening society is towards victims of abuse, and I would suggest it's more opening now than it has ever been, a 12-year-old doesn't think like a rational grown-up. Even rational grown-ups don't think rationally when they've been sexually abused.
Yeah, absolutely. But I suppose that's where we have to spell it out. This is okay, that's not okay. And that's the other thing you said this morning when it comes to this education, the pants... thing,
And one way of spelling out it's not okay is by showing that bad men and women, although it's primarily men, bad men who do these bad things will go to prison.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you very much indeed. And finally, on the subject of Rolf Harris, Maureen was prompted to call in with, well, have a listen to this.
About almost 40 years ago, two of my daughters were sexually abused, and I mean sexually abused, by a neighbour. He admitted it, and I took him to court, and he was banged up for 18 months. 18 months wasn't long enough for what he did to my daughters. And I still feel very bitter and angry about it after all these years. I feel sorry for Rob Harris's wife and daughter. I really do, because they have to put up with it. They have to live with it. And regardless of age, I'm sorry, but a few months, I think he should be banged up. I really do. He's done a lot of damage, people. Hello?
I'm listening, Maureen. I'm letting you speak. Can I ask, how old were your children when this happened?
One was 8 and one was 9. They're grown up now. They've got families of their own. How they feel about it now, I don't know. But they had to go to a police station in Dunstable. They were both examined by a police surgeon, both came up with the same sort of thing. They had different things that would look like a man's penis, and they both came up with the same thing. And he admitted it.
As a mum, Maureen,
yeah.
How on earth did you feel? How did you find out? Did your kids tell you?
Yes, my daughter told me.
Kind of pretty soon after it happened?
More or less, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, his children would come and play in my house. His wife at the time, she was doing a twilight shift AC workers in Dunstable. And so these things took place when she wasn't around.
And when your girls told you this, Maureen, how on earth did that make you feel as a mum?
I felt absolutely shocked. I really was shocked, you know. And they would say, don't tell Daddy, don't tell Daddy. But of course I had to tell my husband, because I explained to them that what he did was wrong. And he had to be punished for it. And that was it. And so, of course, when I told my husband, he said, right, get the police. And I did just that. 2 policewomen came, took statements from both of them, which seemed to go on and on and on. And eventually, I took him to court. Within a few months, weeks, I would say, I took him to court in Luton. And he was bound up for 18 months. That wasn't long enough. He was a young man. He got a family of his own. You know, so I felt sorry for his wife and his children. God knows how many more children that man sexually assaulted. I dread to think. It's not worth thinking about.
And how long ago did this happen, Maureen?
This happened in the 70s.
Okay.
70s.
So this was sort of 40, 45 years ago. I can hear you're still very angry and still very hurt about this, aren't you, all this time later?
Very, very angry. It won't go away. It won't go. Sorry, but...
No, don't. Hey, listen, I just think that some listeners may find it interesting and enlightening to hear just how upset you are so many years later, because one of the questions that's been raised with Rolf Harris and all of these other stories is, well, come on, it happened a long time ago. People should just get over it.
No.
And it's not easy to get over, is it?
No. No, it involves your own flesh and blood. You can't. You just can't.
And Maureen, have you spoken to anyone about this? Have you seen a doctor or a counsellor or anyone like that about this?
I haven't seen a counsellor, no. I don't talk about it unless I have to.
Do you not think that maybe sharing this with someone who isn't connected, who isn't a family member, might help you?
Well, I've shared it with you. I've shared it with you. Maybe that's a help. That's a step in the right direction. I don't know.
It might be a little bit too soon to ask, but I'm going to. How has telling me made you feel this morning? Obviously, it's upset you, but does it feel like a release of pressure at all?
Sort of, yes. Yes. Yeah. I'm an old lady now.
Yeah, but even old ladies deserve to, not carry burdens and resentments from a long time ago. Even old ladies deserve to be happy and be helped to let go of things.
Mm.
Do you speak to the girls about this anymore? Have you ever? When was the last time you mentioned it?
In fact, I'm not on talking terms with them now, so the reasons best known to themselves, okay. I don't know.
Maureen, I'm really sorry to hear that.
Yes, but I do have... I have a large family, so...
Good. So you've got people around you?
Yes, yes.
Maureen, I'm going to make a suggestion, and it's only a suggestion, and you haven't got to follow it if you want. It might plant a little seed or it might not. 2 things. One, we spoke to the Samaritans earlier on, and the Samaritans are great. They're not just for people who want to slit their wrists or have got a bottle of pills. They're good if you just want to talk to someone anonymously. Don't have to tell them your name, and sometimes it's good just to let things out. My second suggestion, and they're not for everybody, I understand. My second suggestion, have you got a good GP?
Yes, I do.
Have you spoken to your GP about this?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. But she's busy.
Well, I know Oh, Maureen, listen, I know she's busy. Of course they're busy. But is she the kind of GP that you can talk to?
Oh, yes. You can.
My second suggestion, and maybe this is the way to go, and again, if you don't take it up, it's fine by me. It's just a suggestion. My second suggestion would be make an appointment with her, and when you book it, say it's not urgent, doesn't matter if it's in a couple of weeks, and maybe just let her know what happened, and how, and more importantly, how it's making you feel.
Yes, that's a good idea. I could do that.
Yeah.
I'm in a care home, so due to bad health.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll be going into hospital in 2 weeks' time. An operation.
What you having done?
Hip replacement.
Oh, they can do those. They can do those like putting a car together. That'll be a piece of cake. They'll whip you open. They'll slip in the new hip, and you'll be doing the tango straight after.
Oh, that's something to look forward to.
It's something to look forward to. Maureen, it's nice to hear you laugh. Just have a think about that suggestion about talking to the doctor. All right?
I will, yes.
Thank you so much. I feel privileged that you felt you could share that with me.
It's been a privilege talking to you.
Maureen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
In the first hour of my award-winning show, I've won 2 awards so far. I play music.
What were they for?
One was for doing like a wicked show, and one was for being awesome.
That's amazing. Well done.
You're welcome. But we play a little bit of music. Only 4 songs. Some people don't like it. Some people do like it. I don't bother me. It means I can go out and have a Rothmans. I don't smoke, Mum. If you miss it, you miss cracking stuff like this. I don't know this song. Is this song any good that I'm about to play?
What is it? No.
No? Well...
It's sort of a party tune. Are we up for this?
Kels, what do you reckon? You want to have a party?
Come on.
There's a party in my pants and you're both invited.
I'll pass.
Aye. No, I'm so...
Told you.
Pepe, you told us that was Donna Summer.
She should have known better.
I'll tell you what. Can we have Debbie Gibson? No, because I'm in an up-tempo kind of pop mood.
Why don't you talk to Dr. Mike? I'll get you Debbie Gibson. Which one in particular?
Real as it may seem, it was only in my dream. It was only in my... It was only in my... No, only in my dreams.
Because if you know all the words, then you could just do your own.
As real as it may seem, it was only in my dreams. It was only...
But you only knows the chorus.
I've got to do the chorus to go into the verse.
Oh,
no, I've got to go to the chorus, I'll go straight into the verse.
Oh, yeah.
Nearly in my dreams, as real as it may seem. Here we go. I'm doing it right up. In my dreams, it was only... No. I've got to go round. Only in my dreams. As real as it may seem. Don't you put me off and I'll end up doing it again. It was only in my dreams. It was only. Now I used to love you. Now I know that it is real. Now I know that the 10th hour. Now I know that it is real. If I only once could hold you, now, if our love was so fine. Now I know that I can't be real. Now I know that this is mine. I'm also fully aware we've got a guest on the line that I have to go to after this.
Well, he might not be there anymore.
An actual doctor. Let's break up this fun with this.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. There are roadworks at the...
Good morning, Alice. I've never heard roadworks sound so exciting.
That's the point. That's exactly what I'm going for.
Exciting, and dare I say it, a little bit naughty. Naughty roadworks this morning, Alice, is it? Naughty roadworks?
Slightly naughty in the
naughty roadworks. Excellent stuff. Well, Alice, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fade my microphone down. I'm going to hand it over to you, and you can tell us about those naughty roadworks, and also those very, very naughty roads And dare I say it, those naughty, naughty little buses and trains as well. Alice, over to you!
We've got roadworks at the Black Cat roundabout.
Naughty roadworks!
And they're adding to the normal morning delays as you get to the peak time today. Also in Milton Keynes, there are roadworks on the Standing Way around the Kingston roundabout. And do expect delays there as well. Public transport, that's all looking good with no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Naughty, naughty! Hey, we tried to get author Mark Bego on the show. He'd written a book about Glen Campbell. I know what went wrong. It's funny, I got an angry email from the gentleman who arranged the... Hey, Ian, what happened? And I wrote back saying, well, we tried to dial the number, but the number was not in service. Got a sheepish reply a little bit later saying, I gave you the wrong number. So, we'll be speaking to Mark Bego next week.
Will we, though?
We'll be certainly having a go. Anyway.
Apology accepted. From you.
Why am I apologising to you?
Because you blamed me.
Well, it was your fault.
I was given the wrong number.
You should have checked it up before, love.
Hey. No, it was that guy's fault.
Yeah! No, it wasn't, because he works with one of the monkeys, and I'm hoping I can tap into him to get another interview with Dolenz.
Hey, he's only human.
Just stop tapping into people.
Sorry about that,
Rude.
Kelly. I'm sorry, and could I just tap into you one more time after the show?
Okay.
Thank you very much indeed. Anyway, we tried to get Mark Bego on. He's written a brilliant book about Glen Campbell. He didn't. Or did he? Well, he didn't. But he did play the audio.
Play it now.
Yes. Hey, Mark. Trying to call you, but we have the wrong number. Well, hang on. Have we got the wrong number, Kelly? Or are your drugged-up fingers dialing the wrong number?
I've got the correct number.
Well, have you got
Your drugged-up brain sent me the wrong digits.
No. I sent you the numbers. Oh, this is what happens when you deal with Americans. Don't they irritate you? I sent you the number for Mark Bego in New York.
Yeah.
It's 1:50 in New York a.m.
I know, and he's sitting there waiting for the call.
I'm waiting for the phone call for BBC Three Counties from Leicestershire. And,
No, he's saying, why didn't they call?
Why didn't they call me? Why? Where's my guns?
I'm going to get another coffee and wait for them to call.
I'm going to shoot my TV in the face.
Oh.
Do you think he'll be listening online?
No. Mark, if you're listening online, we're trying to call you. We've got the wrong number.
What can he do about it?
Maybe he heard the Debbie Gibson thing.
Yeah, and that turned him off.
changed his number.
That turned him off. He's got our number. Do we just sit and wait?
Does he know our dialing code?
Well, do you know his?
Yes.
Ay, a chihuahua.
So does he know our dialing code?
I don't know, Kelly.
Do you want to give it out?
01765.
Wait, if you're calling from America, what do you call for us?
0011.
No, that's...
0044.
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh.
So 0044.
He knows how to dial in Britain. He's written 60 books.
Yeah, but they
How many books have you written?
Yes, he might not have written any books on the dialing code.
You don't know that. He's written 60 books. The odds are one of them is about dialing codes, or at least mentions dialing codes in some capacity. Correct, Catherine?
Or involved them, yes.
Exactly. Thank you.
His biographies have included the life stories of some of the biggest stars of rock.
I know Captain and
Elton
Tennille.
John.
Jackson.
Billy Joel.
Jackson.
Elvis Presley.
Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Jackson.
Madonna.
Yep. Can I just say, Kelly, everything has run smoothly, apart from one bit of audio we missed yesterday. Everything has run smoothly whilst you've been living it up in a field, drinking hooch. Scrumpy. You come back, we lose a guest. My name is going to be Muddin. I can't go back to America now. If I try and fly into America, I'll be, sir, would you step this way? I'll be back in a room with some dodgy-looking Mexicans. I'm not being racist. That actually happened to me once.
I've tweeted about this and everything from our 3CR account. It's going to make us look like...
The BBC is going to be a laughing... You thought the BBC was a laughing stock yesterday when 5 Live didn't give me a job and they didn't give any women any jobs. Now we're a laughing stock.
They gave one woman a bit of a job.
They gave her an hour a week.
Who gave you this number anyway?
A man who has works very closely with a member of the Monkees, and I'm trying to butter him up so I can...
I think he stitched you up like a kipper.
Oh,
It's a
no.
bit like when you're in the disco, Kelly. You know when you go to the disco and a dodge pot comes up and he says, can I have your number? And you say, yeah, of course you can.
No.
And you give him anyone else's number.
Yeah.
No. Hey, there's a phone ringing. It'll be him.
Oh, I don't know.
It will be. It's America.
Whoever it is, we get him on to talk about Glen Campbell.
Yeah.
No one will notice.
That would be amazing. What's your name?
Yeah, it's him.
Can I put you straight through?
Beautiful. This is it. OK, we're going to go live
Mark
to...
Bego. Down the line.
We're going to go...
No, we've got the real Mark Bego on the line.
We're going to go to New York City. It's Mark Bego. Good morning, Mark.
Howdy, partner. Howdy, Mark Bego here.
Mark, great to speak to you. I'm sorry, we obviously got your number down wrong.
That's perfectly fine, partner.
Now, you've written this book about Glen Campbell.
I certainly have. He was a top-notch bloke. Mr. Glen Campbell.
And why did you decide to write a book about Glen Campbell?
I had some free time, and I needed the money.
Okay, and you wrote this with his daughter. Which daughter did you write this with?
The second one.
Debbie?
No.
Yeah?
Yeah, the second one. I didn't get her name. Much.
And so you wrote this with Debbie Campbell. It's called Glen Campbell, Life with My Father. There must be some amazing stories in there, because Glen obviously struggled with drugs and alcohol and fame. So give us one of the most shocking stories that you heard in there that won't get us sued.
I'd love to, but you could read the book, partner.
Okay, we could do that. How did Glen Campbell get so famous? What was it the turning point in his career?
I believe it's when he first picked up the guitar and decided to learn to play it.
How did he go from being just a humble guitar player to being, a country music superstar?
Well, that's all in the book.
Yeah, maybe you could just, sell the book a little bit, Mark.
Yeah, it's got a nice cover.
Okay.
And Glenn told me, or his daughter told me, yes. Obviously, because Glenn's not with us anymore.
No, Glenn's still alive.
Oh.
I mean, you mean is he's battling Alzheimer's, don't you?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so when he's not with us, he's now, I believe, in a residential care home. But yeah, so you spoke to his daughter, and his daughter said...
Yeah, she said that one day he was travelling down the motor highway.
Yeah.
And he picked up his guitar and decided to start playing it on the motor highway.
Wow, wowzers. That's a great story, Mark. Well, listen, I really wish you the best of luck with the book. Thank you so much for joining us, and sorry for the mix-up with the phone numbers.
That's perfectly fine, Ian. Yeehaw!
And just give us the title of the book one more time, Mark.
Yep. Sorry, the line's gone a bit.
Just give us the title of the book one more time, Mark.
The title of the book? Glen Campbell.
Mark Bego there. Thank you very much indeed. We're on fire today, guys.
Fire.
Let's have a time out from linking bits from the podcast, and let's just discuss how the podcast links are going. I think we're on fire today. May I just put forward what I make up from this? Mm-hmm. I'm being really, really funny. I'm in a good mood. We're going to go and get some food afterwards. I've lost a little bit of weight, and someone noticed yesterday. Kelly's wearing a very bright dress, and Catherine's not really saying much. I think that these factors combined mean that this is probably the best podcast session we've ever had.
I think you perform better with a bit of stubble.
Thank you.
Which you have.
So do you. Catherine?
Yes, it's all very good.
She has stubble too.
Peter in Walmer Green called in, not to have a whinge, but to talk balls.
Actually, it was boards. Ironing boards. Covers.
If you go to Glastonbury and find an old tent, you could use that as a cover for your ironing board, free of charge.
I don't want an old tent.
Well, you just cut a piece out and put it on.
What, a bit of canvas?
Yeah.
Onto my ironing board?
Yeah.
Well, no, the canvas would melt under the heat.
Only if it's nylon or that sort of thing. If it's canvas, it won't.
Have you done this yourself?
We used to do it in a road trade, not particularly tent, but bits of material, just to tie it onto the board.
Okay.
Quite simple.
Well, hang on a minute. That involves cutting up a tent. It would be easier to buy an ironing board cover.
Well, you was just saying yours goes very quickly.
Yeah.
So you could have a long-lasting one. Look at that, and you can give your boys an extra pocket money.
What, for stealing someone's tent?
No, if it's abandoned, why not?
Thank you for that, Peter.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Coffee up my nose there. Kelly Metz has got her finger in the air like she just don't care.
Can you make that sound again?
No, don't make that sound again.
It's quite messy.
Do it. And now we'll explain how that sound was made.
I have a cup of cough, and I'm putting my mouth in there, and I'm half drinking it and half blowing on it.
And that, my friends, is the sound of a 41-year-old father of two.
Well, exactly, I'm a father of two. This is the kind of rubbish you have to come up with at home to keep the kids entertained.
Hey, set your stall out again.
I'd rather do it after past.
Really?
I've got coffee up my nose, isn't it?
People are walking by the stall at the moment.
Oh, I'm having a break. I'm having a fag break. I'm having a coffee break. I mean, I can, but I'll only end up doing it again after 1:30. That's not me!
Stop it.
Have a go. Go on. It's more fun than you think.
Fun. It really is.
Try it.
No.
Try it with your glasses on. Oh, try it with your glasses on.
If anyone's at home and they've got a cup of tea,
or
gently
cough.
put it into your mouth. Or coffee. Gently put it into your mouth and breathe.
Try it with your Sue Pollards on. Go on, Kath. She's got her Sue Pollards on today. She's a nice lady, Sue Pollard. I met her.
Go on, Kath.
Go on, Kath. Go on, Kath. Go on,
about one day.
Go on, Kath.
And this is what happens.
Go on, Kath. Go on, Kath.
Just saying.
Go on, Kath. Go on, Kath.
No.
Go on, Kath. Go on, Kath. Go on, Kath. Go on, Kath.
Do you know I've got 3 A's at A-level I got? Yeah, I was rubbish at sport. Then I went and did a good degree. And I thought, I'll become a journalist.
Go on, Kath.
15 years later,
Go on, Kath. Go on, Kath.
this is what I deal with.
Go on, Kath. Go on, Kath. Are you going to do it?
Go on.
Go on!
Go on, I'll tickle you at the same time.
Yay! We're having fun! We're having fun, guys! Still going having fun, man!
I know she actually wants to do it.
Yeah, I know she does as well.
Because the hand is like as if it's about to reach for the coffee.
I tell you what, we can make it a competition and you can win it.
Yeah, Kath, go on.
You can win a competition. You can win a luxury holiday in Spain for 7.
You'll be the best at doing that.
Thanks to Betamax Airlines.
Than any of us.
Yeah?
Go on, Kath.
Hey.
The quicker you do it, the quicker Iain will get to travel.
Come on, Kath, do it, please. Do it, Kath. Oh, do it, please. Go on. I'm doing voices and everything. We're having a little bit of bants here.
Dear boss.
Go on,
Kath. Go on, Kath. Go on, Kath.
You said
Go on, Kath.
6 weeks.
Go on, Kath. Go on, Kath.
It's been 6 months.
Go on, Kath. Go on, Kath.
Please, I'll be back on news.
Go
Love.
on, Kath.
Kath.
Go on, Kath. Are you going to do it or not?
No, I'm not going to do it.
Bums. I don't get... And when I said the other week, we should make Matt Lockwood a regular feature, that was obviously a joke, and I thought you guys would have got that.
I thought what he had to say was very interesting.
I think we should make Matt the new breakfast presenter.
Oh, right. Forget that. He's a plum. He's like not Mel Brooks.
Melanie C?
No, he's nothing like Melanie C.
Mel B?
He's like Albert Bennett.
Alan Bennett.
He's like Alan Bennett on acid.
How do you know?
I had a particularly intense weekend with Alan Bennett once. I know exactly what that's like. But he came in to talk about herons again. This counts as.
It's not just a heron, though, is it? It's a living plant.
Yeah! This is what counts as a news broadcast feature thing. Well, last week we had Matt Lockwood got angry about a pond. Matt's here this morning. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning.
When I said let's make this a regular feature, I was joking.
Well, it deserves to be told, this story.
I'm not sure it does.
I think it does.
I'm not sure it does.
Well, I think it does. So we're going to argue about if this should be on your show or not.
I'm not sure it does.
Well, I think it should be a regular feature.
Well,
I've come in this morning at this time for this.
Yeah, we'll do it.
I could have been slept in.
You could have been slept in. You're right. Whatever that means, we'll do it. But I want it to be noted for the record.
Right.
I didn't mean for you to come in and do it.
Really?
Okay.
Well, this is a genuine issue in Watford. It's the biggest story in Watford at the moment. Well, anyway, you do your script and I'll
says a
come
lot
in.
about Watford.
Dear.
There's a pond in Watford. It's the focal point of a £4.3 million makeover of the parade in Watford, and it was gussied up.
I've never heard of that word before.
Is that a Catherine word?
Yep.
What does it mean?
It means done up, smarted up.
It was gussied up in time for an official open. This is BBC Three Counties, not BBC Stupid Northerners. Oh, hang on. Sorry, Matt.
Oh.
Sorry, Catherine.
No, I'm not a stupid northerner. I don't take any offence to that.
She's such a clever woman, Catherine.
It was gussied up in time for an official opening, thank you, by retail guru Mary Portas. Trouble is, it turned green. And you, Matt...
I was gutted. Can I press go?
Sure.
No, that's not right, is it?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's right?
I don't know. I've got Watford Pond Clip 1.
Right, here we go. The old pond was looking shabby, the water dirty, it had been neglected for years. So the idea was to give the people of Watford a pond they could be proud of, a pond that I could be proud of.
You wrote this script, did you?
I did,
I'll read it as it's written, shall I?
Yeah.
You've been posting pictures of the pond on Twitter.
When I saw the pond last week, the water was clear. And then when I went back this week, the pond had turned a bogey green colour. Now, the paving around the pond was covered in bird droppings. The new decking was covered in bits of bread. I could go on, and I will. An owner let his dog urinate next to me.
An owner let his dog urinate next to you?
Yep.
Then what you say, why did we play that clip? So an owner let his dog urinate next to you.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel as a person?
Wait a minute, you're meant to say the council said the appearance of the water would vastly improve after they fixed a fault with the filtration system, but has it?
Well, yeah, no, I've just gone off the script a little bit.
Right,
I'm
okay.
having what I like to call, I don't know, a conversation.
A conversation, anyway.
How did the dog... it wasn't just the dog urinating next to you, it was the fact that the owner had allowed the dog
The owner had allowed the dog to urinate next to me.
How did that make you feel as a person?
It made me feel very unsettled.
You're outraged, aren't you?
It meant that I couldn't dip my toes in the pond.
Why not?
I've been looking forward to this for many weeks. I'd seen this pond...
Why couldn't you dip your toes...
being constructed.
Why couldn't you dip your toes in the pond? Because
I had a dog urinate next to me. I had pigeons that were fluttering about all over the place. There were bird droppings on the steps.
Okay.
There were bread on the decking. You've heard it in the clip.
When I went there, we had bread on decking for tea and we were grateful. Now, OK, let's go back to the script. The council said the appearance of the water would vastly improve after they fixed the fault with the filtration system, but has it? So, backed by no popular demand, it's our Pond Life reporter, Matt Lockwood. Matt, is the water any clearer?
Well, I went back to the pond yesterday,
He's
Iain.
reading this.
Remember, we were promised...
He's reading this as though it's a conversation.
We were promised a vast improvement in the appearance of the water.
He's pointing the finger of truth at me.
Now, perhaps this new filtration system needs a bit longer to bed in. So the water is still a shade of green. I described it as a bogey colour last week. Now, to be fair to the council, it's a bit clearer. Now, the fountains have been switched on at last, all three of them, so they make a nice sound. Page 2 of the script. But the steps are still covered in bird droppings. Now, eventually, I rolled up my trousers and had a dip in the pond. Shall I play this clip? So it's a moment I've been waiting for. Finally, I can put my feet in the water. And the water is a bit cold, but it's very soothing. Well, I've just seen a cigarette butt there. Might ask other people if they want to join me and dip their toes in the water. Do you want to dip your toes in the water with me?
No.
No?
No, thank you.
You don't fancy getting your feet in that water?
Thank you very much.
Is it too green for you?
Yeah.
If it was a bit clearer, would you put your feet in that water?
I'm all right.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
What about this little one? Would you like to go in Watford's pond? No, she's not saying anything, is she?
Thank you.
Just ask these people over there if I can persuade them to have another dip with me. Sorry to bother you, don't fancy dipping your toes in the water with me, do you?
Fine, thank you.
No. You're not too enthusiastic about the new pond then?
No, it's fine, but we're having a business meeting.
You're having a business meeting? Oh, sorry.
I pick up here. You sound so genuinely sorry there.
Who has a business meeting
He's reading it.
outside a nightclub?
He's reading this.
Who has a business meeting outside a nightclub?
Who writes that sentence and reads it?
They were having a couple of drinks outside the nightclub. This says they're having a business meeting. They were just having a couple of drinks.
OK.
Anyway.
The thing is, right, and I've gone off script now.
Yeah, go off script. Well, I've gone off script. In fact, let's put this script in the bin.
I've gone off you. you were worried that people would go in and mess around in the pond.
I was, and I was concerned that
But then you did. You went in and messed around in the pond.
No, I went in to dip my toes in the water.
Well, you're not allowed to do that.
Yes, you are.
Who says?
Well, there are steps leading into the pond.
You can't just go and walk into a pond.
Why not? It's a pond.
Exactly, it's a pond.
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 It's a pond, so you should be able to dip your toes in the water. Now, my feet felt lovely. As I says, the water was soothing after I went in the pond.
Did you touch the giant heron?
Yes, I did. Now, there's a picture on our Facebook page of me touching the giant heron right now. Kelly, you've put it on there, have you? Yes.
Yeah, and Twitter.
It's already got some response on Twitter.
Oh,
well done,
okay.
Kelly. Kelly's not sticking to the script, are you? Lovely. Now, @Buck_Carter says it looks like you're taking the giant heron's temperature.
It doesn't say that. It says it looks like you're taking its temperature.
Well, I'm just clarifying that it's a giant heron. @_Paul G. Is that how you read these tweets, Kelly?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Says you look like Rodney out of Only Fools and Horses, you plonker.
Why? These contribute nothing to the show or the story.
They do, because the
what
comments
they're
from
saying
me...
is, what Buck_Carter and _ Paul G are saying is, you're a muppet.
They're saying I'm a plonker for touching the heron and being in the pond. Well, I think it's a rite of passage, when you get to a certain age, to be able to dip your toes in a pond. Anyway, just to reassure the people living in Watford
touching the heron's
that
passage.
this giant heron is not an artificial bird that's been genetically modified.
It is an artificial bird.
No, it's not.
It is an artificial bird. It's not an actual bird.
Yes, it is.
It's not an actual bird.
It's a living plant.
Yeah, it's not a real bird. Anyway, when would a plant not be living?
When it's artificial. Anyway, we've messed up this script. It's you.
No, I'm sticking to the script. Why are we doing this as a script? Listen, Matt, can we've got to go to the travel.
Right.
So, can we come back and finish this off in a bit?
Yeah, Anne Howes. We'll hear from her after the travel and...
Who?
Yeah, anyway.
So we took a break for travel and news, and when we returned, Matt was still here banging on about a heron.
I mean, need to get to the end of my story here.
I've asked him to pass you the papers to look at for the paper. He's giving you one. he's leaning on the rest.
Actually, I have. Yes, yeah. Actually, look through those. Keep yourself busy while I carry on with this story.
Oh, is he not finished?
No, he's not finished. We have another 2 clips to play.
I haven't done the meat of this story. I've done the bread, but not the actual meat, ham, salad, all that kind of thing.
You're not putting butter on it?
I put that on before. Well, Iain, that first clip, he put the butter on. Anyway, so can you take it from when would a plant not be living?
We've done that one. You messed the line up.
Well, can you say...
It's all scripted.
Oh, I'm just going to carry on.
When would a plant not be living?
When it's artificial.
Anyway,
Iain, you're missing the point. I'll get rid of that. Local campaigner Anne Howes, whose family's been in Watford for nearly 300 years,
says
the water features a health and safety nightmare.
Shall I press the button?
We were expecting something different with the problems that this has brought, health and safety issues that we've got with this, and I would have expected within a week, 2 weeks, that this would have been lovely flowing clear water, not... We've had 2 accidents up here already, I understand. One, somebody I know that's witnessed this. We've got an issue here where the steps go right into the water. We've got the birds that have come back, the mallards. We've got loose dogs. They're going to be going in the water and savaging the birds, because this is what they tried to do to the pigeons that are around the area, because it's a dog's nature to chase pigeons and ducks, and I can see this is what's going to happen. It's not going to be nice for somebody to witness. And one of the accidents we've had is somebody, an elderly gentleman's tripped up, and also before we had the depth of water in there, somebody fell in and hit their head from this side, I believe.
This pond...
Let me turn the microphones on.
This pond is now a health and safety nightmare. Serious concerns. People falling in the pond. Last night I was told a toddler might fall in the pond. And these health and safety notices that were in the pond, where the giant heron was, they've now been removed.
OK, several things.
Yeah.
The thing about ducks is they've got an extra axis that they can operate on.
What?
Right. Dogs only work on the what do you call that one? The horizontal axis.
What is he banging on about?
Ducks can fly, Matt.
Really?
Yeah.
Will not fly very
so
well.
if you've got a dog bounding towards you,
Yeah.
slaver, and it's I'm going to savage you.
Yeah,
Fly off, don't you?
savage
You fly off.
dirty rats.
But they can't get very far, can they? I mean,
In the
ducks.
sky's quite far.
What ducks can fly like pigeons?
Yeah.
Really? Anyway, I still think it's a genuine
Don't you
concern.
remember
Yeah.
flying ducks your mum had on the wall?
Never had those things on my
Oh, you went
wall.
posh.
That's tat, innit? I mean,
Are we anywhere near finishing this tedious story? And it's an important issue to people like Anne.
right. I'll just skip this. Anne says the money would have been better spent elsewhere in the town.
I wouldn't consider what's down there as much better than what there was before. What should have been done was the lower part of the town. Marks and Spencer's, where you've got great big boulders lifting. If somebody fell there, their head would go straight under a vehicle coming up the town. So this is where the work should have been spent. This is where the money should have been spent down the bottom of the town.
So £4.3 million has been spent in the wrong place. It should have been spent at the bottom of the high street, rejuvenating that area, not up here.
Absolutely, absolutely, no doubt about that. And that's lots of people's concerns about it as well. So all this money wasted when it could have been put to better use down the bottom, where it still needs doing.
It is a tale, if you like, of two halves of the town now, isn't it?
And I don't think that even when the Watford Live is finished, that you're going to get any more people up here than what you did before.
Yeah, I mean, one of the justifications for the new pond and the new paving is to attract more people into this area of the town. Do you think that's going to happen?
No. It would have to have been something spectacular.
So Anne Howes is not a happy woman. She is a passionate woman. Remember, her family have been in Watford for nearly 300 years. 300 years. So she knows what she's talking about. In the next hour, I'm going to be interviewing, live on the radio, Mayor Dorothy Thornell.
We're letting you speak to the Mayor?
I'm going to speak to the Mayor and put these points to the Mayor, see how far we get.
This is 2 hits, is it, this morning?
Well, actually, we were thinking maybe weekly feature, weren't we?
Oh, come on, that was a joke.
No,
so
it's
when are
not
you
a
going to be
joke.
back, Matt? You've got to do the outro.
I'll be back next Thursday with Pond Life Part 3.
No, mate, Catherine, back me up on this one. You know that was guff.
Well, I've done some research. People like ponds.
Yeah, exactly.
And people love a giant heron.
Back me up on this. This is you weren't here last week for this. Is rubbish, isn't it? Oh, you're not going to say we should keep it as a weekly feature, are you?
I just think it's the funniest thing I've ever
Exactly.
heard.
So, Pond Life Part 3, there's many questions next week.
We could call
Is
it
a giant
Part
heron
Part
still
to make it
there?
exotic.
Is a giant heron still there?
It will
Has
be.
a safety barrier been installed? Are the fountains still gushing?
Shut up, mate. That was Matt Lockwood, 1958 to 2012. Well, that section of the show led to many, many, many complaints. And I, for one, take them very seriously. For the second time in this podcast, it's Matt in Luton.
Good morning.
Matt, what would you like to say, sir?
You're a disgrace, your show this morning.
Excuse me?
You're a disgrace. I can't believe you've allowed that guy on. And normally, I would never go back to Chris Evans, but I'm really thinking about it, going back to Chris Evans. Why have you suddenly changed and done a crap show like this? You were doing great. You were coming up to Jonathan's standards, and now you've gone backwards again. Why?
So I was coming up to Jonathan's standards. How close was I to the standard set by JVS?
Very close, because Jonathan is really good. I mean, let's be honest, he is the cream of the crop. He's a bit like the Wogans of the world.
He's a bit like the Wogans of the world in terms of hairstyle, yes.
Never mind, don't take the mick out of his hairstyle. The man's got personality. And
yeah, and he's got hair that he can take off at night, and that's fine.
And you I can't believe how you've gone back today.
Well, so I was approaching JVS's standard, and that really is a great compliment. I'm a big fan of his work. Whose standard have I sunk down to now?
Well, you're Chris Evans, I suppose.
Oh.
I can't stand him.
Right. You're from up north, isn't it? You are, though, aren't you?
I'm not from up north. I'm an Irishman.
Well, that's kind of north and to the west
it's not.
of it.
It depends where you're sitting.
Well, from where I'm sitting, I thought you would have enjoyed the regional accents.
No, I don't mind the accent. God bless you. It's a lovely accent, but I wouldn't like to hear it every morning.
Okay. Well, I can only apologise, Matt, and in many ways I agree with you.
Yes.
The first hour of the show this morning has been absolutely awful. and I blame Matt Matt will be back in about 10, 12 minutes to interview the Mayor of Watford.
Yes, that should be exciting.
Yeah.
But I hope your standards start to pick up again, because I do like listening to your show.
I'm really going to do my best, Matt, and I'm going to take that criticism on board.
Great.
Matt, thank you. Maybe give us a call later on, or perhaps tomorrow, and let us know how it's... See what I mean, Catherine, because we've got the flipping pond life. Scrap it, it's a rubbish thing.
What? But people like ponds.
Madden?
What?
Madden? You done, do you, Matt?
Yeah, I like ponds, yeah.
See,
oh, then what's your beef then, Matt?
I like water features.
Thanks very much.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is iainlee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Here are some callers.
Nice link.
I'm running out of steam now.
All right, how do we steam you up?
Maria had some very, very important news to impart.
Yeah, that's a good one, thanks. Cut that bit out and I'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maria had some very, very important news to impart.
You might want to start digging the bunker and buying beans.
You might want to start digging a bunker and buying beans. That's enough!
Wait, I just want to quickly add that when I spoke to her on the phone before putting her on air...
Yeah.
She said this, so...
Let's play it and then come back.
I collect papers and I look at anything that's very vital.
Yes.
Britain faces climate chaos from Toscot volcano blast.
From a what?
Britain... I'll turn the radio off.
Yeah, turn the radio off, that would help.
Britain faces climate chaos from Toscot volcano blast.
What's a Toscot volcano?
Britain's greatest future threat may come not from flooding, terrorism or economic collapse,
yes,
but from a super volcano eruption.
And we don't want a super volcano eruption. What?
In Iceland, a cabinet officer report is...
This is terrifying.
...to warn ministers. That's just a bit of the reading.
Oh, Maria, that is terrifying. When's this happening? What time today?
I don't know what time today.
3 o'clock?
A Sunday Times.
Can it not... Is there any chance we could delay it until tomorrow? Because I've got tickets for Monty Python tonight.
What?
I've got... Is there any chance we could delay the Toscot volcano until tomorrow? Because I've got...
How do we know it's going to come?
Well, I've got tickets for Monty Python tonight, and I would hate that to be ruined by a volcano. I've spent a fortune on these tickets.
Such an eruption would blanket the UK and Northern Europe with ash and Toscot fumes. Creating climate chaos.
What are Toscot fumes?
Don't ask me.
Is that like a load of cows doing a blow-off in a field?
I shouldn't think so. I should think it's ash.
Well, no, that's the ash. You said the ash, and then you said, and Toscot fumes.
Yeah, I've just read that out of the paper.
I know, I heard. Are you worried, Maria?
Well, I am about this. I think the ministers should know.
What are the ministers going to do with it? Hello?
Hello?
Oh, you're still there. What are the ministers going to do with it?
You tell me.
You tell me.
Including roastingly hot summers and bitterly cold winters.
Well, that don't sound so bad.
A cycle could last several years. The report will warn.
Punctuation is such a faff, isn't it? You're still laughing, Kelly. 6 minutes later. Why was it... What's so funny?
She said... When she rang, she said, I found a news article and there's going to be some volcanic Chakos. And I said, what's Chakos? She said, it's Chakos. And I said, spell the word you're reading. She said, C-H-A-O-S. And I said, chaos?
Chakos.
She said, yes, lots and lots of Chakos.
Now, you picked up in that, which I didn't pick up, the bit we've just heard, another word that she was saying.
Tostic. And I thought, oh, maybe it's one of these sort of, like a Sandy Toksvik, a Swedish import.
Yeah.
She's not Swedish,
Danish.
She's Scandinavian.
Racist.
Of some kind. And, no, I think she was saying toxic.
Because I thought it was
a volcano.
Having heard it back just then as we did, because we listened to all the bits that we played, but not put in afterwards, I thought she was, yes, she was trying to say toxic. I thought it was a place name in Iceland.
Tostig.
That all happened Monday to Thursday this week. We're recording this on the Thursday. We don't know what's going to happen in Friday, but you will.
I know
now.
I know what's going to happen.
What?
I'll tell you in the meeting.
But it might not be good enough to make the podcast, so the podcast might just end now.
No, it cannot end now. We have to have something from Friday's show in the pod.
We've got quite a lot already.
And here it is.
But if we don't have, then you'll just hear this, which is Iain saying bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this free download from BBC Three Counties Radio, your local radio station for beds, hearts and bucks, on FM, AM, digital radio, and online at bbc.co.uk/3counties.